Okay, so you've decided you want to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Let's get to it. The next thing you're going to need is access to a motorcycle. If you have a friend or a relative that rides, maybe you can talk them into letting you use their motorcycle. If not, maybe there's a motorcycle club or organization in your area that you could contact, and they might be interested in training you. Also, there are companies set up in many states that will train you to ride a motorcycle. These companies usually require that you spend a couple of days with them, and they work out pretty good. You get your license right after completing their course. Another solution might be just going out and buying a used motorcycle. There's always a whole bunch of them on Craigslist for sale. You can usually find something that's halfway decent for under $2,000, sometimes as little as $1,000. Anyhow, I'm going to assume that you can find a way to get a motorcycle to train on. First thing you have to do after you get a motorcycle is familiarize yourself with all the controls. Check them out, make sure they work, and become familiar with them. Once you've done that, get onto the motorcycle and balance it out. What I mean by that is take it off of its kickstand and stand it upright. You should practice getting on and off the motorcycle, balancing it out, putting it back on its kickstand several times until such time as you're comfortable with the maneuver. Once you've done that several times and you're comfortable getting on and off the motorcycle, it'll be time to move to step 2. Step 2 is starting the motorcycle. And the first thing you have to do before you start the motorcycle is make sure that it's in neutral, else you're going to go for an unexpected ride. With the ignition key turned on, you'll see a green light on your dashboard. This indicates that the motorcycle is in neutral. As a further check, you can roll the motorcycle back and forward, and if it's in neutral, it should roll freely. Now that you've balanced out the motorcycle, turned on the ignition, and checked to make sure that it's in neutral, you can now press the starter button and start the engine. Once you've got the engine started up, you should become comfortable with the throttle and be able to roll on just a little throttle so as to bring the engine RPM, say between 1500 and 2000 RPM for leaving the line. At this point, I would repeat these procedures multiple times until I was comfortable getting on and off the motorcycle, getting the kickstand kicked up, balancing out the unit, getting the engine started. Prior to starting the engine, making sure you're in neutral. Once you've become familiar with all these procedures and you're comfortable with it, we can move on to step 3. Now it's time for step 3, which is a little bit more fun. You find yourself a parking lot or some open space where you can drive the motorcycle around and, you know, drive it around without having to worry about traffic. Don't just blow through the parking lot activities quickly. You want to have everything down pat before you hit the open road. You should be able to execute left turns, right turns, stop with the rear brake, stop gently using the front brake. You should be able to shift. You might want to do some figure 8s in the parking lot. It's very important that you have it all down pat before you hit the open road, because there's no room for error out there. So anyhow, good luck. Keep the rubber side down, stay safe out there. Remember, there's danger everywhere. And also, remember, I'll be back.